a YouTube gaming legend, a pop hit, and a deadly plane crash. These are the three stories that I bring you from 30 years ago. We start with December 12th, the day that Benjamin Vestergaard was born, or better known today as MrCrainer on YouTube. Born in Denmark, Benjamin was part of a generation that saw technology, particularly gaming, explode into mainstream culture. In the early 2000s, gaming was still seen as a niche hobby, often misunderstood or dismissed as unproductive. But Benjamin saw something different. Growing up, he became immersed in video games, exploring their worlds, mechanics, and storytelling potential. Games like Minecraft offered a creative playground unlike anything seen before, and they would later become a cornerstone of his success. Benjamin created his YouTube channel, MrCrainer, in 2014. At the time, YouTube was a growing platform for creators, and gaming content was in its early stages. People like PewDiePie were blowing up, but there was still plenty of room for new channels. McCrainer's content stood out for its light-hearted humor and interactive style. His early videos focused on Minecraft mods and challenges, which quickly earned him a loyal audience. Fans loved his ability to turn even the simplest tasks into hilarious, engaging content. Over time, he expanded his content to include games like Fortnite and collaborative projects with other creators. These collaborations showcased his versatility and helped him reach an even broader audience. What sets MrCrainer apart in a sea of creators is his personality. He balances wholesome, family-friendly humor with an undeniable energy that keeps viewers coming back. His audience feels like they're part of the experience with him, and this connection has been a key ingredient in building his subscriber base, which now has millions of fans from around the world. MrCrainer is part of a revolution in how we view gaming and content creation. His rise coincides with a broader cultural shift, where gaming transitioned from being just a pastime to a legitimate career path. In the early 2000s, playing video games for a living was practically unheard of. But today, creators have proven that gaming is a way to connect people, tell stories, and even build careers. While gaming remains his primary focus, MrCrainer has dabbled in other areas like vlogging, showcasing his personality beyond the virtual worlds of Minecraft and Fortnite. This diversification has allowed him to reach fans who might not be gamers themselves, but enjoy his comedic timing and relatable antics. For aspiring creators, his journey is proof that with the right mix of passion and persistence, you can turn a hobby into a career. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder just how far gaming and the internet have come in just a few decades. Moving on, we have the #1 song in the US on December 12th, 1994. Ini Kamoze's Here Comes the Hotstepper. Released in October 1994, it was the lead single from Kamoze's album of the same name. Before this, Kamoze was known in reggae circles but hadn't yet achieved mainstream success. What helped the song reach so much success was its hook. The line that's been stuck in our heads for decades. It's instantly recognizable. By mid-December 1994, the song had reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Ini Kamoze an international star almost overnight. The track resonated with a wide audience. In a time when grunge, rock, gangsta rap, and R&B dominated the airwaves, Here Comes the Hotstepper carved out its niche as a feel-good anthem. Its unique beat and memorable lyrics made it favorable for commercials, TV shows, and movies throughout the 90s and 2000s. Even today, it's hard to hear those first few notes without feeling the urge to dance, or at least nod along. While it brought Ini Kamoze global fame, he struggled to replicate its success, often being labeled a one-hit wonder. 30 years later, it represents a time when music was crossing boundaries and bringing people together. Whether you're hearing it at a party, on a throwback playlist, or in a movie, it's impossible not to feel its impact. Finally, on December 13th, 1994, an American Eagle flight en route to Raleigh Durham International Airport, crashed in the woods just short of the runway, killing 15 people. The plane was a small commuter aircraft operated by American Eagle Airlines. It was a short trip from Greensboro, North Carolina to Raleigh Durham International Airport, a route familiar to both the pilots and passengers. The flight carried 20 people, and for those on board, it was an ordinary trip on a cold December evening, at least until the plane's final moments. As the aircraft neared the airport, the pilots were cleared for their approach. What should have been a smooth descent turned into a chaotic sequence of events, resulting in the plane crashing in a wooded area less than 2 miles away from the runway. At 6:34 p.m., Flight 3379 disappeared from radar and radio communication. Moments later, emergency services were flooded with calls reporting a fiery explosion. When rescuers arrived, they found the wreckage scattered in the woods. Only 5 people survived, all suffering serious injuries, while 15 others were killed. Among the victims were business travelers, families, and crew members who had no chance to react to the impending disaster. So, what exactly went wrong? The National Transportation Safety Board conducted an extensive investigation and found that the crash was primarily caused by pilot error, made worse by issues in the airline's training protocols. The trouble began when one of the plane's 2 engines malfunctioned during the approach. A warning light indicated the failure, prompting the crew to execute a single engine landing, a standard emergency protocol. However, in the critical moments that followed, the captain misjudged the plane's speed. Believing they were too fast, the captain reduced power excessively, causing the aircraft to stall. Compounding the error, there was confusion between the captain and first officer about how to respond to the stall warning. Within seconds, the plane lost altitude and crashed before reaching the runway. Investigators discovered that pilot training played a significant role in the accident. The captain lacked proper training in handling engine out situations under stress. Meanwhile, the first officer didn't voice any of his concerns. It was a complete breakdown in effective teamwork. For the survivors, the crash was a life-altering event. Their accounts of the incident, including the moments leading up to the impact, have been critical in understanding what went wrong and how future tragedies can be prevented. Today, we fly with greater confidence thanks to the hard lessons learned from incidents like this one. And these are the events of 30 years ago. Comment below with your thoughts and what you remember from 30 years ago. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from 30 years ago.